Alrighty. Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Chlele and I am a senior in high school. Today I'm going to be teaching you my favorite way to memorize where all 50 United States are. So, today I'm going to be sharing with you the story of Chef Mimel and his journey to help you all remember where all the 50 United States are. This is helpful if you are struggling with being able to recall all or some of the states, and hopefully by the end you'll be able to recall where all 50 United States are located. Well, why is this even important? Besides just passing your upcoming test or quiz, it's important to know how the world is shaped and organized to provide a deeper understanding for current events, social issues, and more. Now, before we get started, I have provided a link to a blank map, which, while it is not required, I encourage you to print out and fill with me as we go through this story, just so that you can see where things are and it'll help you remember just a little bit more. Alright, so we're going to start with our story. And this story starts with Chef Mimel. Here he is. And Chef Mimel is named after the states that he represents. This includes Minnesota, Iowa, where his I is, Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Louisiana is also shaped like an L, which could make it easier to remember. Now, Chef Mimel, like all of us, is hungry. So, on his travel, he decides to make some food. So he grabs his tin pan and cooks some Kentucky Fried Chicken. These states, of course, are Kentucky and Tennessee, named after his tin pan. After Chef Mimel eats all of his fried chicken, he overeats and becomes sick. This causes him to be ill in Ohio, which makes up the states Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. Now, as Mimel is making his travels, he needs a backpack. Here's his backpack. And backpack has two K's in it, so we can remember these states on Mimel's back as all having a K in them. First up, we've got North Dakota, of course, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, and finally, Oklahoma. Mimel continues on with his journey until he hears people whining about how cold their food is. This is Wisconsin. So, Mimel heats up his pan, but accidentally burns himself, causing him to throw his oven mitt up into the air. This mitt is the state of Michigan. One partner of his journey I forgot to mention is Mimel's dog Mags. Here's Mags. She is made up of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. And Mags is laying on the floor with Florida. On the tip of Mag's nose is a butterfly, which is made up of beautiful Virginia and North Carolina. Staying on the topic of animals, we've got a horse over here who has a beautiful mane, making the state Maine. Continuing on with the East Coast, we're going to zoom in a little because the states are so little. We've got New Hampshire, because it looks like a lowercase h. And then we've got this state that looks like a V, making it Vermont. Next, we have this state, which to me looks like a massive fishing hook. And this massive fishing hook is trying to catch some massive fish. So this state is Massachusetts. Moving on, we have this guy over here who, to me, it might be because I'm a little hungry, looks like a big slice of pizza. And who has the best pizza? Well, that has to be New York. Moving on down, we need a plate to put our pizza on. It's only good manners. This makes this state Pennsylvania. Now on to the smallest state over here, which could get confused as an island, is the state of Rhode Island. Right next to Rhode Island, we have Connecticut, because he connects Rhode Island to the United States. Moving on down, we have this guy who looks like a J, and he has to be New Jersey, home of Jersey Shore. Now to the west, we have West Virginia, and over here, we have where the best crabs are, and this has got to be good old state of Maryland. Now to finish up the East Coast, we have itty bitty Delaware, which, fun fact, was the first United State to be ratified. And moving on from the East Coast, we have the biggest state on the United States continent, which is Texas, because everything's bigger in Texas. Another fun fact is if you stand on this red dot, you can see these 4 states all at once. You can see. These 4 states are made up of Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. Moving on up, I always wonder why this state is so square. I mean, it's perfect. And this definitely has to be Wyoming. To the left here, we have this state that is shaped like a big V. Now this has to be Nevada. Next to Nevada, we have sunny California, which is shaped like a C. Up here we have some mountains, which has to be Montana. And Montana blows winds that makes a sound of I-O. These states are Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. And our final 2 states that we can't forget about is freezing Alaska and beautiful sunny Hawaii. And these are our 50 states. While I hope this story has helped you all memorize the 50 states, ultimately practice makes perfect. I recommend these games and flashcards here to practice with your friends and family. You can make this a fun competition and compete against your family to see who can complete naming the states the fastest and most accurate. When you are over studying inside, which I know we all are, enjoy some fresh air and go outside. You can take studying on the go by grabbing a blank map, which I have linked here as well as in the beginning of this slideshow, a sheet protector, and an expo marker to fill out a map and wipe it off to practice again. You can do this in the car, on the beach, in the park, with your friends. Make it fun. And for those of you who feel confident with knowing where all 50 states are, I challenge you to learn their capitals. Here's a fun song that goes through all 50 state capitals.